Aloha. Happy Thursday, everybody. How is everybody doing? Good to be here today. Today is, of course, August 15th. It is 2 o'clock in Hawaii, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in New York or East Coast, and I'm happy to be here today. We had a huge turnout Tuesday, and that gives me a lot of confidence that these are working and that they're serving traders. That's what they're in service to. I began these, in the last few months, but we've really been ramping up because they seem to be doing so well. So my name is Kim Ann Curtin. I am the Wall Street coach. My career coaching Wall Streeters began 19, 20 years ago. And it all started during the '08 crisis. I had started my business a year and a half before that to become a coach. I walked away from the finance world after 10 years because I hired a coach and had a transformative experience. Because of that experience, I felt the calling to become a coach and started that business, like I said, way back when. So it's like 2006, middle of 2006, give or take. And I was experiencing, difficulty after a year of having clients because the '08 crisis was on its way. And I wound up setting up, similar to Lucy in the Peanuts, a sign that said the coach is in, and start to coach people outside the stock exchange. I did that for 1 year during it was October 7th, when the market, dropped at that point. And it began really what was a very, very challenging couple of years. So I did it for 1 year outside the stock exchange. And I kind of laugh that here I am 18 years later, doing live coaching again in small 20-minute increments. So if you want to be coached today on camera, I do request it. If you do this here, you do it on camera, then please raise your hands and let me know. And I will pull you in. Alex C., it's so good to have you here. Tina, of course, it's always good to have you here too. And what else did I want to say? I've added one more time slot. I'm doing the live coaching on X every Friday. Again, those times have to change based on my client sessions, but that is not on camera. So for those who are a little camera shy, just know you can come into the X space. You can always call my voicemail, which in fact today, that's the first thing. I'm glad I just said that because I have to remember today to talk about. So before if anybody wants to come into the room for coaching, you can raise your hand now, get at the top of the line. But I am going to reference the calls we've already received and the voicemails we've already received. So if you're camera shy, you got a couple of options. You can call the phone number that collects the challenge every trader has. That phone number is 646-828-7736. It's going to be a voicemail. You don't have to leave your name. You just leave the voicemail challenge you're having with your trading. And then I'm going to play them on air. Going to play 3. We have 3 today. I called one of the members on my team. Thank you, Amanda. Put together these text messages we got and voicemails for me a little while ago. So just know if you've called in the last hour, I probably won't be addressing your voicemail because I didn't get it yet. Because we had so many from the last episode, Tuesdays, I'm a little backed up. So we had to get them this morning over to me. So Luke Trader, I'm glad you're here. Good to have you here. I'm glad you're here again. So if you do feel camera shy, that's okay. You can call that phone number that I just gave. I'll give it again. Here we go, 646 828. I'm just typing it into my laptop here. 36. And did that work? No. All right. So you call that number, you leave your voicemail, and then I'm going to take your voicemail, play it on air. That's why I'm suggesting if you don't want your name attached to it, you don't have to leave it. But also you can come to my X Spaces tomorrow. I'll do it on Space almost every Friday. So trader voicemail. So I just put it in the liner notes. What else did I want to say? Also, I wanted to suggest that you really seriously consider coming in here live, because one of the things that's happening for the people that do come in, I'm getting messages from them days later, guys, to tell me what's happened for them. And it's all good stuff. So it's worth it. I get it's a little intimidating, but yeah. All right, Alex C. I'd love to follow up the homework assignment you gave me on Tuesday about exiting treats too soon. Absolutely. That sounds fantastic. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the link now, Alex. But we're going to keep it very, very short just to give somebody else an opportunity, because you're the first one who's answering. But just so you know, I'm not going to let you in the room until after I address those messages that people left that I didn't get to Tuesday. So you can come on in. I just won't make you live until we're ready to go. All right, so let me get to the messages and play them for you. So these are voicemail messages from traders who said they had a challenge. So I'm going to play these voicemails. Here we go. Ready? We're going to listen together, guys.
Hi, my question is, I've been at this for quite a while, years, and I actually know what to do, but I don't do it. Why? Why don't I do what I know that I should do? Thank you. Bye.
So hopefully everybody heard that message. Please, somebody confirm. Yes, that was clear. Did you guys hear what that trader left as his message? He basically said, why do I not do what I know I need to do? I know what to do, but yet I can't seem to do it. Can any of you relate to that? Let's ask that question first. Can anybody relate to, I know what to do, but I can't seem to do it? Okay, thank you, Alex. So I'm going to presume that's a double yes, right? Yes, you could hear him, and yes, you can relate to it. Good. Thank you, Carson. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So first of all, whoever left that message, thank you. It is such a deep and profound question that I am so happy somebody left it, because that is the ultimate question, isn't it, guys? It is the ultimate question. So let's talk about that. Why would it be that a trader would not be able to do what they know to do? And this is where it gets a little tricky. Yep, perfect response there, Carson. Carson said can do it sometimes, but other times can't. It's because the majority of our behavior is being driven unconsciously. We think we're the driver of this vehicle, but we're kidding ourselves. It is mostly driven by our unconscious. And this is a big reason why I'm such an advocate. Yes, I'm an advocate for coaching, but really, guys, what am I always advocating besides the concept of coaching? Hi, PTO, glad you're here. I'm always advocating self-awareness. I'm always advocating being conscious, noticing the habits and or the behaviors or the repetition of situations you find yourself in. This is where it gets really, really tricky, guys, because when I speak of that, a lot of clients, a lot of people will go on the defensive. Do you think I want this, Kim? Do you think I like this? Do you think I'm an idiot? Like, right? But you gotta realize that the tendency to start to defend yourself and justify yourself keeps you in the loop. You have to first leave judgment outside the front door for you to step into the paradigm shift I'm requesting of you. To this trader who left this message, and to anybody here who's listening that says, God, Kim, I know what to do, but I can't seem to do it. Or it seems like this, I find myself in this situation over and over and over and over again. I can't figure out why. It's because you have yet to discover what is driving you under the hood. See yourself as a car. The car isn't in the comfortable leather seats, if we're lucky enough to sit upon. The car is not the sound system. The car is not the color of the carpeting. The car is under the hood. That car's length of time that it'll stay in your garage or the years you can drive it is completely under the hood that you're never looking at. What is the oil like? What are the filters like? Are the connections solid? The gas in the tank, right? These are the places that are driving every trader to potentially do that which they know better to do. But if you start to look at yourself as if you're wrong, if you start to come from a place where you're saying to yourself, well, what an idiot I am, that isn't going to get you to where you guys want to go. You have to become like a scientist. You have to become like an observer, a critically neutral observer of yourself. Oh, isn't that fascinating? When somebody gives me a compliment, I downplay it. Isn't it fascinating? When I have a good trade, I always have a losing trade thereafter. Isn't it amazing that I know what to do, but I can't do it? Instead of making yourself wrong for that, get curious. That is my question. So the short answer to that question is why? Why are you not doing what you know to do? Because someplace, somewhere down deep inside, there is some information that tells you actually you might be safer with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And I hear you, Eric, about everybody wants Lamborghini with a Ford Pinto, paycheck, so to speak. But I don't think that that's what's here at this moment. I think what's here is the frustration this gentleman's feeling because he's smart, he's intellectual, he knows, oh, of course, I should be doing something different. But how come in the heat of battle, Kim, I can't stick to it? And I'm saying because there is some wounds inside that you have yet to look full in the face. And until you look at where there are possible payoffs for you that don't appear on the surface to be benefiting you, I can promise you, once you start to identify what are the payoffs to not doing what you know to do, that's when you start to see the patterns. And that is when you have a much better chance of changing those patterns. All right, let me just look at some of these comments here. Stephanie said, what did you say there, Steph? You said, I'm going through a lot of personal growth shit right now that I realized what you told me, not even in my trading. Yep, because whatever is showing, good job, Stephanie. Good job. Because the thing is, and what did you say here? BTO, we act against our own best interest, then our gremlins come up and beat us up. BTO, I would actually suggest working against your own best interest is the gremlin. So the gremlin has you working against your own best interest. And the gremlin, like I said, they get you coming and going. The gremlin will set you up, have you do something that's not in your best interest, and then it will have another voice or the same one demean you for being tempted in the first place. That's how manipulative they are. They get you coming and going. It's like a double agent, right? The double agent sets you up to take the temptation, and then it's the one that comes and arrests you after you did what was wrong. This is the gremlin. This is the way gremlins operate. And that's what you guys got to see. The things you're doing, they're self-sabotaging, are your gremlins whispering in your ear so subtly, so quietly that you don't even know that's who you're listening to. It's terrible frustrating to make the same stupid mistake again and again. So Luke Trader, right there, you're telling me you're judging yourself. You could have written that whole sentence without saying stupid, because when you say stupid, you now are the mouthpiece of your own gremlin. Every time you call yourself stupid, that is your gremlin calling you stupid. And this is why you need to really pay attention to how powerful these inner saboteurs are, guys, because I'm telling you, if you want change, you are going to have to dismantle them from the microphone that they have control of in your head. You have to watch for those sentences. You have to watch for when you say things like, I'm making the same stupid mistake over and over again. It's an insult. You're insulting yourself. Your gremlin is. Don't buy it. You have to. This is so important. You have to simply notice when there's a voice making you feel like garbage. It isn't yours. Who are you listening to all day long? Who are you listening to in your traders? You guys want discipline? You want to be disciplined? I can promise you, cursing yourself out isn't the way to getting more discipline. But that's what a lot of you guys do. All right, let's hear the second message.
I have a question about the fear of placing a trade due to numerous losses. Even when you know there's a winning trade to be had, you're confident in your setup, but you fail to even place one small trade. And then subsequently, all day long, watch the missed opportunity. This has happened to me in the last 7 days with the incredible market fluctuations in futures, and it's inexcusable, and it's very detrimental to my health and everything else, mental and physical. So I'd love to know.
Did you get cut off? Where's the rest of that? I'm going to get, it seems like the last few minutes got cut
I
off.
do all those things, but I still manage to miss trades. Thank you. Really appreciate the work you do.
Liz, thank you. We got Alex who's going to come in, and then I'll definitely bring you in after Alex, Liz. So let me address that gentleman's question. So basically, he's saying, how do you recover from loss? How do you recover to go into trades? Now, I want to just ask this question specifically of you, Luke Trader, because I just referenced did you notice a key word that trader used when describing himself? Did you catch it, Luke? If you're still here, tell me if you caught it. Did anybody catch it? Put it in the chat comments if you caught the word that gentleman just used with regards to him speaking. Do you guys know what it was? Inexcusable. Do you hear the self-judgment? Right? That is what we are noticing is a bit of a pattern, right? The self-judgment. I made a mistake that was inexcusable. But do you get it now, Luke Trader? Do you see what I'm saying? He was talking about the fact that he made an inexcusable mistake. That is his gremlin talking. He said inexcusable. And that is a judgment word. That is his gremlin talking. That's not him talking. So I want you guys to start to listen and catch, even if it's other people, before you start to notice yourself. Not that you tell them, but I want you to listen to how much self-judgment is flying around out there. Oh, yes, who gets to decide whether it is excusable or not? We all get to decide, guys, but the inexcusable is a judgment term. And what I'm trying to say is, because he and many other traders are so caught up in the judgment of their issue, they are like in that Chinese finger trap. The harder you try to pull out of a Chinese finger trap, what happens, guys? Do you remember the Chinese finger traps when we were kids? They're like two pieces of paper that are like a cone. The more you pull, the tighter it gets. That is what I'm saying first. Once you relax your hands, once you release it, that's when you can get your fingers out. So it's counterintuitive. So I'm going to answer his question, but I'm just pointing this out to you. When you are caught up in it's inexcusable what I did, or you exactly get more stuck the harder you pull. That is what's happening here with every trader so far. 2 for 2. We have traders judging themselves over what they did, right? Correct. Double size, make it back. That's one gremlin. Then you do it and it makes you feel like an idiot for doing it. That is why I'm telling you guys, you've got to get this paid attention to. It is the key to the kingdom. Watch the awareness, right? Watch the language you use. Because when you go into judgment, what happens is you take yourself out of curiosity. Now, there are probably really good reasons why he is unable to take a trade after having a loss, because he's human. You lose, you start to get careful. You slip on a very steep trail and realize you could have just slid down the mountain. You start taking a lot of care with the next step. This is how humans survive. So it's not inexcusable, it's human. The key is, how does he begin to become aware of his tendency to slip into judgment? And then he's in a position where he's put a little bit of space between him and doing it again. But if you go into contraction, if you go into resistance, if everything starts like, what a jerk, it's inexcusable. I shouldn't have done that. You can begin, first of all, to breathe. Second of all, to get really observant about what's happening. If anything happens that hurts you, costs you, you got to believe that you're going to have some default settings. And if you want to change those default settings, you're going to have to understand what triggers them. And that, is the first suggestion I would say to that treat. Get clear. I'm drinking this blueberry seltzer water, and it's very bubbly. So pardon me, I keep having like hiccups and burps because it's super seltzer, super like bubbly, but it's really good. So anyway, the answer to him is, why am I not taking trades after I've had a losing trade? I would say the first answer is because you haven't fully processed that loss. And likely the loss that you have had, you still have even judgment about that. He has lost on the other side of now not being over it, but the judgment actually began when he first had that loss. Now, guys, when you have a loss and you realize that you took a trade you shouldn't have, first of all, look, there's two kinds of losses, as Peter Brand says, right? There's losing trades and bad trades. There's a difference, and it's important you guys know that. But let's just say that guy did take a bad trade, right? If he still has himself on a meat hook over it, he's unable to properly be able to process that mistake. And if you don't start to process your mistakes, and again, look underneath, what's driving that mistake? What is it that's going on? Is it because is that trade that he didn't do well in? Did it happen because he couldn't be wrong? Did it happen because he's in a rush to make back money from another trade from a while ago? Did he take it because he was so sure it was a sure thing? Did it happen because his risk wasn't properly aligned? Did it happen because he just made a mistake and couldn't face it? There's countless reasons. His is unique to him. Yours is unique to yours. But if you don't start to get curious about what is operating, and you can only do that with neutrality. If you go into judgment, the jig is up. You can't look with neutrality. If you go into a laboratory as a scientist, believing in something and not willing to see the evidence of what shows up in your lab results, you're not actually a scientist. You guys have to act more like scientists when it comes to yourself and the way you respond and or react to your trading than you're doing right now. That is the key. Be neutral. Be an observer. Don't get into this judgment. Just respond with what's my favorite phrase? Does anybody know? How fascinating. I learned that from Ben Zander in his book, The Art of Possibility. Ben says that all the time. When things go pear-shaped, when things don't go the way you want them today or tomorrow or ever, you say, how fascinating. And that puts you back into a place of being able to suss out what is going on. All right, let's hear the last message. I'll play that. I think what's happening is that my screen shuts off and closed down that voicemail. So I'm just going to make sure to keep tapping it. All right, let's hear what the last voicemail is. Curiosity and neutrality, BTO. That's the key. Language you use matters. Awareness of it makes it easier to reprogram. Absolutely, Eric.
My biggest issue is having a good trading system, seeing my triggers pop, and then chickening out, not taking the trade, and then my entire day's fucked after that. I usually end up max loss after that particular situation happens. So consistently executing your edge without fail.
So I'm going to play that one more time at the beginning. I hear what he said.
My biggest issue is having a good trading system, seeing my triggers pop, and then chickening out, not taking the trade, and then my entire day's fucked after that. I usually end up max loss after that particular situation happens. So consistently executing.
Okay, so what he's saying there is that he is running into chickening out, right? So my question to him would be, and even that, do you hear the judgment term? Do you hear the judgment? He's chickening out. That's his inexcusable. Luke Trader's stupid. Just listen. Do you hear the pattern, guys? What we're hearing is a lot of self-judgment, right? When you hear a trader talk about what their challenge is and they don't use judgment, that will be a really magical moment. We'll have to have some kind of confetti thrown when we hear a trader speak about their challenge without making themselves wrong, without beating themselves up, without making, a judgment term. So just keep noticing, guys, because that's why these calls from other traders and you guys coming together is so important, because it's sometimes easier to hear other people do it than ourselves. That's part of, I'm going to do a quick shout out to Al-Anon. Al-Anon was created for people who have struggled with those who have addictions that they love in their life. Al-Anon is for those who feel responsible for other people, and that is their addiction. I went to Al-Anon many years ago and had to come to terms with my codependency. Codependency is an addiction too, guys. Codependency is thinking you're responsible for how other people feel, and it makes you do things for other people at the expense of yourself. And that is a huge piece of us not being able to take good care of our needs. And that is what's so important here. You guys want to start to really see that whatever is happening invisibly. And the first step is bringing it to the light. All right, so the heart of what's happening for him is that somewhere he's being triggered by fear, right? So the question is, what is it he's afraid of? And what I would ask if he was here in person is, take me to the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario that could happen? Now, maybe he would say, I blow up my whole account. And I would say, Feel that, feel what it feels like if that happened. And there would be a kaleidoscope of physical and physiological sensations that he would be going through. There's always a dragon, guys, with behavior that isn't what we want. There's a dragon that we haven't looked in the eye. That is the shadow side of ourselves that we haven't come to terms with. And that is what is going to be asked of you here. Trading is going to pour a spotlight on all the things that stay in the dark, and it can be very uncomfortable. All right, Luke Trader says, I think for me, is anxiety. I think for me, anxiety makes it happen fast. I mean, producing a reliable income from trading. Of course, that's a pressure, Luke Trader. Of course, that makes anxiety. Survival, paying your bills, that should trigger anybody. I don't care if you're, an 8-figure trader. If you blow up your whole account, you still have to survive, right? So there's a lot of anxiety in this whole thing. BTO says he does not believe in his system. He stated that he chickened out and not taking his trades. Then he takes the wrong trades. So BTO, good points. It could be, could be 100% correct that he doesn't believe in his system. And it could be that he would not be comfortable having his trades work. I know that sounds crazy, but it happens. There are people who have not reconciled with some old stuff that actually feel uncomfortable when things are going well, when things are going positively. Thank you, Anthony. You're the best. I hope my microphone is good. Anthony will always give me the heads up if my microphone is not appropriate, but I think I got it this time. So BTO, I just want to say that, yes, it could be that when he said he chickened out and not take his trade, but the reason he got scared is really what we want to discover. And that's what he is going to have to take a hard look at. Instead of seeing him getting scared as wrong, bad, wimpy, I would love to say to him, is it possible that the fear is trying to protect you? The question is, what might it be trying to protect you from? When we're little kids, guys, we learn how to navigate the family of origin we come from. We will sculpt ourselves and sometimes bend ourselves into creatures that we wouldn't even imagine we could be capable of. We do this to navigate it as best we can. And so when we come up and out of that environment many years later, sometimes we keep living, operating the same way. Why? Because it's what's familiar. It's what's comfortable. To not be all sculpted that way will feel like possibly putting us in a vulnerable position. And that's what I want you guys to start to see. The things that you do because you're afraid at one point possibly served you. And if you can step out of the judgment and just get curious, that is the key. That is the key. All right, let me look. And I also have a text left in the voicemail that I have to read. So, but BTO, if he doesn't believe in his system and that's all it is, then guess what? He has to get more data that his system actually is bulletproof. And if he doesn't have that, that's what he's afraid of. Then he's afraid that his system doesn't work. Okay, well then how does he make sure his system is bulletproof? Well, he's going to have to test it, right? All of this leads back to comfort with discomfort. We're going to have to get comfortable with our discomfort if we want to see the full picture. And then you said he takes wrong trades. But again, remember, taking wrong trades, losing, being alone is sometimes less scary for people, because being with people is scary. Taking a trade and being wrong is scary. Taking a trade and just losing capital is scary, right? Fear is happening. We don't want to make fear wrong. We just want to get clear and understand and dig deeper what is beneath the fear. And this goes for not just traders, it goes for everybody. This goes for how we live our lives, the relatives we visit or we don't visit, the people that we have to have a hard conversation with that we pretend like we don't. This is happening all over the place. And that's why it's so important to get really clear on where you have resistance, because that is a little red flag. There's some wound, some part of you that has to be healed, that has to be faced, that has to be given some tender, loving care or some hard truths. All of that takes work, energy, and a lot of guts, a lot of moxie to get in there and do that. And this is why a lot of traders don't do it, because it's uncomfortable. I get it. I like to be comfortable too. I really like to be comfortable. But I'm telling you, if you guys can get more comfortable with the emotional discomfort, your whole freaking trading and life will change. And I know this from firsthand experience, because that's what I had to do. I had to get really comfortable with all the discomfort that I had avoided feeling my entire life. And once I started to get comfortable with the discomfort and surf through all those really, 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 really hard to be with feelings, my whole life opened up, guys. No kidding. Okay. Eric says 12-step programs work for trading, just adapt differently. Fear is the path to the dark side. The dark side can be anything you struggle with or wanting to quit. I would say even that it isn't about what you want to quit. I would say get very curious about what it is that you feel that you want to numb, right? Because anytime there is any kind of quote unquote addiction, it is simply somebody's best attempt to numb hard to be with feelings. And this is part of why people continue to numb. It isn't because they don't know, have the discipline to quit. It's simply because there is a whole bunch of emotions that people have yet to feel. And when you don't feel them, you inevitably are going to have hard to be with feelings, rather emotions and needs. When you face that, those are going to kick up for you really difficult feelings. And if you don't learn how to surf those feelings out, you're going to avoid them like the plague. And who could blame you? Because to feel them is hard. But that is why it's so important to learn how to surf them. And that's why I'm constantly advocating this. All right, let's see. We got a text message too that came in. All right. Thank you, Kim, for doing this. Having this line open is amazing. I was hoping you could help me with the first steps to take in this issue I have. I know exactly what I do wrong in giving back what I make. It could be that day or later that week or even months down the road after doing well and after being disciplined. No matter how many times I recognize what I've done and take accountability and adjust the rules to do it differently, I always end up doing it again eventually. So what does that sound like? So what I first of all hear, I don't hear any judgment words. So I just want to acknowledge the person who texted this. Good job, you being able to recount the situation without judging yourself. That's huge. But I also want to say that what that sounds like to me is possibly a discomfort with more, right? More could be money, could be a monetary unconscious resistance to having more money, and or it could be just with having more. This is something I've talked about before with you guys with T. Harv Eker's book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And I did a workshop with him, and he talks about how we all have a money temperature. A money temperature is a preset, just like a house. Let me just shut my Slack off. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I had Slack off. Pa, 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 pa. Anyway, uh, a preset temperature gauge is what Ecker says all of us have with regards to money. And when and where does that come from? It usually comes from our experience with money as a child. It often comes from our parents' financial wealth. It often comes from friends or people or close friends that we hung out with. So the key here is that you want to start to ask yourself, like way before what's happening now with this trader, but it's never too late. What is your relationship to money like? What is your temperature gauge? If you have catchphrases like money doesn't grow on trees or money is the root of all evil, right? That is telling you you possibly don't have a really clean, healthy relationship with money, right? So you got to ask these questions. This is something too that surprises me all the time. I don't see enough traders really consciously take a good look at the relationship they have to money. And I think that does them a disservice. Money is an incredibly powerful emotional trigger for everybody because it's tied and linked to our survival. So I would say there's something going on for that trader. The inquiry, of course, if I had him here, I would ask more questions, is what is your money temperature set point? And is it possible every time you have success in your trading, you wind up getting triggered? The other book that I've spoke to a couple times is Tina, you found the title for me the last time. It's like blue collar background, white collar dreams, something to that effect. We'll get the title for you. And after this, I'll try to find it and put it up on Twitter. But if you come from a working class background, if your parents were laborers, if you had a family experience that actually triggered the monetary ability of your family based on physical labor, hard work, immigrant parents, immigrant grandparents, you want to really take a hard look that you don't have possibly some beliefs that money can only be earned if you work tremendously hard at it. Now, I'm not saying that hard work is not part of it, but let's just speak to the people who have a lot of money who didn't work hard for it. People who inherit money, they didn't work hard for it. They may choose to, but you've got to see that if you are coming into situations with an expectation, especially if you're coming out of a blue collar, really like back-breaking physical labor that relatives and loved ones endured, and then you come along and you make money pressing buttons. Yes, eye strain looking at screens, but sometimes there's a disconnect. I've definitely worked with clients, traders and non-clients, who had guilt, unconscious guilt, but guilt nonetheless, that they were getting away with something because they were succeeding at their trading, as if they were guilty for something, as if this was just too foreign to what and how they'd been taught you can make money. So a couple of books on money I'm going to recommend. How to Make One Hell of a Profit and Still Go to Heaven. It's by Dr. Demartini, just to have an overview of how his relationship to money impacted his small business when he first started. Another great book, Money is Love. I speak about that book all the time. Another great book is It's Not Your Money. That's by, what is her name? I can't remember, but that's the title. Another book is The Soul of Money. That's by Lynn Twist. These are books that are going to help you reconcile your relationship to money. Remember Jared Dillian's No Worries. That's a great book where he talks about the CFs, the cheap, you know what, and the HR, the high rollers, and how both of those people have skewed relationships to money. So again, get curious and start to look, always with curiosity, with as least amount of judgment as possible under the hood of your vehicle. All right. I have no more questions, so I got literally 10 minutes. So Alex, if you could come in really quick. I asked you to come in already, but you're not here, so maybe you changed your mind. I gave you that link. I also forgot to thank our sponsor, Centerpoint, for sponsoring this episode. Pardon me. I got right into it, Centerpoint, so please forgive me. I'm going to put Blue Collar Roots, White Collar Dreams. Thank you, Tina, for the second time. You are my go-to Amazon queen. Thank you. All right, there is Centerpoint. Guys, for a special offer, please check them out. They're amazing. And thank you, Centerpoint, for sponsoring this live coaching. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. But I do request you put that camera on, please. For
I thought it was on.
no, that's okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm new to this. I'm trying to click enable camera V.
So go ahead, start speaking because we only have a few minutes left until you can get it figured out.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on with my camera, but yeah, you had asked me to make notes every time I was critical of myself after making mistakes and making hash notes. And I'm surprised at how many hash marks I made. I mean, it was a lot. It was like
how many? How
many? You said it would be a lot. I mean, which day is like 25, 30 each day, not total since Tuesday.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of low, Alex. So, like I've done it and I've had like 1,000.
Okay. I felt like a crazy person.
No. I'm thinking, are you sure it's only 25, 30?
So maybe I missed a couple.
That's okay.
So now I have this idea in my head that that I'm rough on myself especially when I make a mistake. It's not so much the loss. If I make a mistake and it's to plan, I'm not terribly upset by that. But if I make a mistake out of plan, then I really get revved up, and it, like the other caller said, it ruins my day.
Yep. Totally. But did you get the Taming Your Gremlin book?
I ordered it, and it'll be here tomorrow.
Perfect. So what I want to say is well done. Well done that you started counting these gremlins. Well done that you've already noticed, wow, this seems to be a little bit more than I expected it to be. That is the first step in this whole taming the gremlin. You've got to first just see, whoa, this is happening a lot. Maybe that is having an impact, right? If you had a person standing over your shoulder calling you an idiot 30 times a day, do you think that probably would have an impact on your ability to create good work, good trading?
Sure.
Right? But it's inside of you. It's even more intimately sabotaging you. Mm-hmm. So the question is, wow, how long have I been listening to this inner critic judge myself? And I hear you. You're saying, I'm not hard on myself when I make a logical mistake. I'm mad at myself when I make what I consider a stupid mistake.
Sure.
Right. But the point is, even that construct is not helping you get to the bottom of how come there are these mistakes that you're taking, or these trades that you're taking that you really probably should not take it. If you can meet that with more neutrality, you possibly get to what the driver underneath it is. Maybe the driver is, I have to be successful much quicker than it's taking me, much faster than it's currently taking me.
Yeah. Impatience with learning how to do this whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that impatience, I'm just putting the fan on because it's all of a sudden very hot here. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, if that impatience, we all are going to have impatience with ourselves. Is that too loud? Can you guys still hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Is a fan too loud? It's a little too loud for me. If the impatient, we're all going to have this concept of impatience, but the key is that level of expectation in this galaxy. Like, we can have bodacious goals for ourselves, but it has to be in this galaxy, right?
Mm.
So that's an inquiry. And, I do have an assessment that I love very much that tells us if a person's expectations are in this galaxy. If they're not in this galaxy, then it's possible your gremlins are being triggered all the time because you're expecting it to happen so much quicker
Sure.
than it's ever happened for any other trader before.
Yeah. Okay.
And that pressure, even if it's not something 30 times a day that's being said inside of your brain, it's understood, right? You're coming to your desk with that cloud of hurry up upon you.
Okay. All
And
right.
so that is like a metaphoric gun to your head.
Mhm.
Did you ever see that picture that they put up? It was a meme. It was hysterical. It was a picture of a North Korean soldier on a computer with their dictator looking over him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it said, did you think you had a hard day? Like, look at this guy. He's
Mhm.
sitting there with this powerful dictator watching him. That's going to be a hard few minutes for that guy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you have your own version of a dictator over watching your trading every day, how's that going to go?
Yeah, not well. Okay.
Not well.
All right. All right. Okay. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Good job. Start the book. Small chunks.
Okay.
Small chunks.
Okay. All right. A little bit at a time.
Good
Thanks.
work,
I
Alex.
appreciate it.
Yes, you're so welcome. All right. Here's the assessment. I'm going to put it up. Someone just asked for it. Hold on. Let me find it here. Thank you for asking. It's so powerful. I love it so much, and it's helped me so much personally. But of course, it helps traders. Thanks, Carson, for asking. Here it is. I'm going to put the link there, and I'm going to put the link on X because apparently X does not let these restreamed links show. So let's see. Okay. So here is the link to the assessment. This is the link to the trader assessment I am speaking about. Okay. What else do we have? Okay, Liz, are you still in the house? I just want to give you a minute to come in. If you're still here and you do want to come in, let me give you the link, Liz, if you do. Alex, you were so fast. Thank you. Can't believe you did that so quick. And good job keeping that list. So just for those who didn't see Alex the other day, that's the link, Liz, if you're still here and you want to come in. Or for anybody, Liz, if you get it first, I hope, if you're still here, I want you to get it first. But if you're not here, oh, good. Come in. We don't have a lot of time, but let's do what we can. I just have to look at the calendar because I do have another. Okay, we got a few minutes, Liz. Come on in. You just take that link and I'll put you on camera. And but just for context, guys, Alex came in on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, right? And we did a speed coaching session. And part of his homework was to go count on an index card. That was my homework to him, to take an index card. I'm looking for it here. I always have one handy. Let's see here. Do I have any? I might be out of index cards. Here they are. Nope, I got them. I told him to take a card like this and to start counting how often, like this. Remember, we used to do this in school, right? Every time, yep, it was Tuesday. So every time you hear a gremlin, he's still identifying his gremlins, but I want you to, every time you hear judgment terms like you idiot, you inexcusable, you did something, silly, or what's wrong with you? Like, how often are you guys listening to that? That's what I want you to count. That's what I suggest Alex do. And what he discovered is that it's a lot. And he said it was 30 like a day. And I'm like, 30 a day is not bad. It's not fun, but like it's better than 1,000, which is what I used to have. I used to have like 1,000. I had to go through like multiple index cards. Oh, Liz, you know what, Liz, it's not your fault. You know what it is? It's because you're on X and you're not in Restream on YouTube. So no problem, Liz. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the link in the X tweet under this right here. I'm going to put it in X. It doesn't show. For some reason, it doesn't show. This is the link. And I'm going to say, Liz, there you go. And now I'm posting it. Look at the live stream and look at the comments underneath the live stream, Liz. And that will give you the link. So that is not your fault. There's just an issue with Restream and X that doesn't let them talk. And so once you get that link, I'm sorry, I just didn't take note that you commenting from X. So I have to go to X, throw the link there, whereas on YouTube and maybe on LinkedIn, I think you guys can comment from all the platforms, but the links I put up don't show. So it's always something, right? Always something. Oh my God. So see, and Liz, how much you want, we'll find out when you come into the room. So tell me you see that now, Liz. Take your time. But if you go to X and you go to this live stream, I commented within my own stream with the link, and it starts Studio Restream, and hopefully you'll find that. And Liz, if not, what I can do is send to you. Where did we communicate? I can also send to you in our DMs. I think were we talking on X? So I'll send you a DM, Liz, right now with the link too. So maybe that'll be easier for you to find it. So there you go. Just send it in and hopefully that will work. Let me come back to Restream. All right. And tell me if that's working for you, Liz. So check your DMs on X or check the comments box under my live stream. Okay. All right. So what did we talk about today, guys? We talked about a lot of traders judging themselves. And what I could say for everybody listening, use this as a guide, right? Just start to notice if you can start to mitigate the judgment words in your self-talk, right? Just see, can you notice when you have judgment terms for yourself and other people? What an idiot. What a jerk. You might say that to people that pass you by on the highways. Just simply notice, judgment term. It is a life change when you stop using judgment terms. I'm not saying I don't use them. Of course I use them, but I can tell you the amount of times I use them has greatly reduced. But it's because I started to work on the judgment terms I had towards myself. And when you start working on it with yourself, you will find your capacity to not judge outside also falls into place. So Liz, I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you are, and it's still not working, let me know. I'm not sure why it wouldn't. Is it hard for you to find it? That's okay. And Liz has also told us she's at the airport, so it could be that her flight got called or something. So Liz, if you don't get in now, we'll just try again for another day, Liz. We'll just move it over. Stephanie, are you still in the house? I just want to see how it's going. And if you're still working on the homework, Stephanie shared with us a couple of weeks ago, my homework to Stephanie was for her to make 100 mistakes outside of her trading. And that was, and she agreed, but I don't think she was happy about it. But part of what we discovered was that those mistakes are triggering, right? And that also comes up a lot for traders. The reason you guys don't cut losses quickly is because you have tremendous self-judgment with mistakes. And so to cut that loss quickly would also mean you have to be with the fact that you made a mistake. But the reason it's so hard for you to face you made a mistake is because you have so much self-judgment. And what is self-judgment akin to? Shame. Guess what, guys? Shame is the most destructive feeling any of us can have, because when we feel shame, nothing is going to, we're never going to feel like we're enough. And that is the heart. I would bet my bottom dollar that anytime you have a trader who doesn't have the ability to cut their losses, it's because there is shame they're experiencing when they make a mistake. I would bet the farm on that. All right. Good luck, trade. I'm glad it was an amazing session. You are so welcome. I'm going to close it up. Remember, guys, if you want to come on for speed coaching, come early and put your name up right away, and I'll do you on camera. You do have, please come on with camera, just so people can have that ability to relate to you. And then if you'd rather not come on camera, then please call the trader voicemail. And that phone number is 646-828-7736. That is for you to leave an anonymous voicemail about a trading issue you have. I'll play it on these almost every Tuesday and Thursday. Once in a while, I won't be able to do them due to client calls. And then Friday, tomorrow, let me tell you right now, guys, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is, I'm going to do these spaces at 10:15 Hawaii time, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4:15 Eastern time. All right, Liz, you're here. I have to go, but we'll get you in real quick just to say hi.
Hi. I'm
How
sorry.
are you?
I was staring at myself for like the past 2 minutes, wondering why the hell this thing wasn't working. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't be
Okay.
sorry. I forgot that you were coming in by X. X doesn't let all of the stream the links I put up show. So yeah, how you doing today? How you doing today, Liz?
Doing well, thank you. I guess a couple of weeks ago or last week I had volunteered to come on. And the reason for that was because I've experienced profitability, significant profitability over the past several months. And in the beginning, I was just incredulous, like, is this real? I can't believe this is happening. It's all luck. And then as the time goes on, I'm being consistent and not having so many drawdowns. But then last week I did have a drawdown. And what I've noticed is, because of the entire time that I've had experience with the markets and the ups and the downs, especially the downs, I had mentioned that I feel emotionally disconnected, but it's the way that I perceive a win or a loss. It's like, if I lose a shit ton of money, then I'm, I sit there and I'm just defeated and, yeah, you stupid fucking idiot. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But when I have a very successful trade, are you able to hear me right now?
Yep.
Okay. So even when I'll have a really successful day, it's like I push down the emotions, like, don't get too excited, Liz. Like, keep it together, keep your feet on the ground, keep your head together. And it almost feels like I'm trying to not be excited. So it's almost like hard to tell. Am I entering this both sides with neutrality, or oftentimes, like with my losses, is it more like apathy? Like, okay, you get to a point where you just keep losing, and I do get to that point where I'll just keep losing, and I'm like, fuck it. What does it matter if I lose more? And then I keep throwing in until I'm finally exhausted and just, defeated. Anyway, so yeah, what are your thoughts?
That was an excellent summation. So what that's already telling me is that you're making your decisions in the midst of the trade. Is that correct?
Emotional decisions usually happen, of course, when I'm losing, and then and really
Hold on a second. What I'm saying is you're making your decisions, not emotional decisions. You're making decisions about how you're going to trade the trade in the midst of the trade.
Yes, at times, yeah.
So the key is those decisions need to be made before you're in the trade. You have to go into a trade knowing when you're coming out of it, clearly defined, way before the chemical flood of decisions are in control. If you're not either clear on your exact strategy of going in and out and your risk tolerance, because a shit ton of money, you shouldn't lose a shit ton of money. If you had proper risk management, you wouldn't be having a shit ton loss. You would have a specific amount of loss based on what your risk tolerance can withstand, what your account can withstand, what your stomach can withstand. That all has to be done way before you're in a trade. Make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think
because
when
you're a physiological being. You're never going to not be that. We are physiologically driven by cortisol, by hormones, by even women testosterone. We are controlled by a cascade of things. Knowing that, we have to prepare accordingly. You're going to be triggered. That's why you have to make the risk management decisions before your emotions are on the table.
See what I'm seeing differently. Say, just say comparing my success right now to last year, is that I do go this year definitely am going in with a plan, but when it fails that first time or it turns on me really quickly, then I get out because that's my risk management part. Cutting losses quickly, but I'm determined to get back in. And then what ends up happening is that I exhaust myself. Like I get back in and then I get out and get back in.
Hold on. You're determined to get back in. That is not you being neutral. It's you having to fix or make back what you just lost. That is where you have to take a look. Oh, I have to get back in. That have to is an indicator there's something else driving you other than strategy. You are planning to be a trader, I think, Liz, for a long time.
Yeah.
You're going to have days where things do not go your way. So what? So what? What's the rush? I have to make it back right now. I have to get right back in. How come? What's driving that? Get curious. That is not if you don't see your strategy playing out, you should not be trading. You went to do it. It didn't work. Is there another opportunity just as good as that? No, you're out.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely lacking that discipline right there of saying, okay, this is the stop and that's it.
It's not discipline. It's not discipline. It's something else. There's something you're chasing.
I have caught myself trading in desperation. That was the underlying emotion all of last year. Oh my God. And it was a catastrophe, and
because trading, you don't make money as a trader outside of anything but a strategy. And even then, it's really hard. So if anything else is driving you all you want to do is notice. I'm not trading now because I see my strategy playing out. I'm trading because I have to fill in the blank.
Will
That
you
is
repeat that?
you want to say to yourself, you want to notice, are you trading your strategy? And if you're not, well, what is trading? Oh, this person who has to keep trading. That's not a trader. That's a gambler.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I get frustrated, and then I end up going in over and over again after I get out.
Yeah, but let's
and
stop. What is the frustration about? I get frustrated. So why can't you be with that frustration? What makes that frustration? I'm not being mean to you, but
No.
that frustration. So what have you not experienced frustration in life? I think you have, Liz.
No. Yeah, definitely.
So you want to ask yourself, what is it that has me running with so much money being left behind because I don't want to be with frustration? Huh? That's the inquiry. What is the feeling under the frustration that you're avoiding?
Well, when one of your webinars, you talked about how, we can make promises to ourselves, but when we can't hold up our end of the deal, then we let ourselves down, right? And I think that's definitely a part of it.
Yeah.
I had
So being human is what it sounds like might be hard for you to be with, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You're always going to be human.
Yeah.
Might want to come to terms with it.
44 years later.
It's all right.
Nice.
I know
Never too late.
I know some 85-year-olds that haven't come to terms with it. So I think you got at least good
Okay.
40 years, 35 years ahead.
I'm ahead of the game. Yeah. Nice. I did have a good trading day today, and I did make some mistakes, but I did also follow my rules in the morning, where I first went in and the first entry didn't work out, and I took a step back. But my first entry, I waited, which is one of the hardest things for me, the patience part. But I've been trying to train myself to be present with that and aware of it because of where I'm at right now. And so this morning I did stop out the first entry, and then I took a step back and I looked to see what was happening, and what I wanted to happen, or what I had planned on happening, started. And then I got in, and then I received love in the form of money from the market. Yeah.
The more you come to terms with this love for yourself, exactly as you are right now, frustration will start to diminish. Just notice, I have expectations that I should be XYZ. Those expectations are the issue. It isn't, you are very disciplined, Liz. That's not your issue. Your issue is being with your humanity, not being quick enough, fast enough, living up to your promise to yourself quick enough. So just be in the inquiry. Be in the inquiry of what is under that frustration that's so hard to be with. Just live that question for a few days.
All right.
Because there's something that gets triggered that you're trying to quickly make go well.
Mm-hmm.
That was the quote this morning. I put a quote out by Ed Seykota, and it's perfect for this conversation. I'm going to read it to you right now. Here it is. It says, "It's all about sticking to your plan and experiencing feelings as they arise. If you are unwilling to feel your feelings, the temptation is to avoid them by jumping off your system.
Yeah.
Be with the feelings. Take yourself up and out, process them, feel the discomfort, feel the frustration, and then come back to neutral.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
Good job.
Awesome.
Good job. Safe flight, smooth flight, and we'll see each other soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Kim.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Aloha now. Be well.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today. Thank you so much to all our volunteers. Thanks to all the traders that called into the voicemail. Thanks to all the traders that text message the trader voicemail today. Thank you so much for everybody that participated today. All the great comments in the chat box. You guys are awesome. I will see everybody tomorrow at 3. What is it? What's tomorrow? I already forgot. I'm doing so many of these. I'm losing track. Tomorrow, I think it's 10:15 Hawaii time, right? It's 10:15 Hawaii time, right? Isn't that what I said? Yeah, 10:15. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4:15 Eastern. And you guys come to the X space with your questions or your coaching topic, and we'll get right to it very quickly. Good to see everybody here. Be kind to yourselves, guys, okay? Be kind to yourselves. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for coming. And one last thing. I forgot. I want to, besides, I shared the Trader Positioning Index with you guys, but I also want to encourage you to sign up for this PDF. This is a PDF of my 5 practices. You're going to hear me repeat these 5 practices often. If you guys want a copy of the PDF that speaks to each 5, sign up here, The Wall Street Coach. I just put the link in the chat box. Let me go to X, do the same. And then you guys can expect to get that in the in your inbox. And then you can guide it. It'll give you a sense of what it is, the philosophy that you're going to hear me be speaking about a lot. So I'm putting that up on X now. This is the free PDF. Free PDF. We did a lot of work on it, so I think you guys will like it. And that's it. Okay, so be kind to yourselves, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Thank you all for your great questions and for the volunteers we had come in the room today. All right, guys, as we say in Hawaii, hui.